I have to be honest. But man, short story number 2 is really good because I'm still reading it and it's not over yet. So like, let me explain. So it's like a girl chilling at the beach, and it turns out she's a robot. And it doesn't even faze her, by the way, which is kind of weird, but it doesn't faze her. She just moves on. She's like, okay. She gets threatened. She's all like, you have to be a sex worker. If you're not, well, we're going to send you to the junkyard. So so the robot decides, you know what? I'm just going to be a sex worker, right? It's really good. Because in real life, a lot of girls, they get coerced into that sort of work, and they get drugged, and they can't control themselves, and they're forced to do the bidding of their, for example, pimps or whoever owns them, right? They get tricked, they get extorted, and it's very smart the way he wrote it in the perspective of a robot. What if you're a robot that's conscious? You're conscious, but what if you're forced to be a sex slave? And that's very interesting. A robot being forced to be a sex slave. And it's like relatable to what people, it's really relatable to how people who, I'm trying to say it really respectfully. It's really relatable to the people who suffer in this industry, like sex trafficking. It's very depressing. And I just think he captures that perfectly with the robot in this story. I forgot her name. Oh, Eve. Yeah. So this is a pretty biblical author. So he has a lot of themes about religion, specifically Christianity, and I really dig it. His prose in adding religious themes into his normal stuff is actually pretty tasteful. I really enjoy it. So far, the story's a 4 out of 5. It did drag a little bit, I felt, in the beginning. But, it's because I think he's, like, building it up. And, well, he's doing a good job. So, I want to stop talking and just start reading. Let's read Dreaming for the Future by Joseph Lawrence. Short story number 2, New Eden. I'm not starting from the beginning. All right. So maybe I should catch you up. I kind of don't want to. She said, okay, I'll be a sex slave. And then she basically goes to be a sex slave, and that's where we are. It's a beautiful, it's a weird earth. Like, they're in a plastic forest, plastic apples growing out of plastic trees. Very weird, very interesting. Feels like Lorax. Yeah. She's wondering who her creator is. The creator is actually here. She's about to meet him, I think. And then, I don't know what's going to happen when she meets him. The creator is supposedly, I think the creator actually killed himself. So it's weird. It says the creator was here, the synthetic robot. She feels like, oh, my creator's here. But then the guy says, well, your creator was shot dead. So I'm confused a little bit. I don't know why the book says he killed himself. And then I think they're about to meet him right now. I'm a little confused. But basically, the leader of the pimps, what's his name? His name is Big Daddy. Big Daddy, he wants to have like 5 nights with her to himself, Eve. There's like a bunch of different sex robots. They're called synthetics. There's like a bunch of sex workers, synthetics that are working, a bunch of them. Like maybe I think I counted like 5, maybe 8 characters. But Eve, she's new. She just joined the crew. She spent months training, maybe a couple months, not too long. I think it was just a couple months, maybe a month. You know, practicing her dance moves, and she's gonna get thrown into the fire, I guess. I mean, I'm tired. Okay. What happened was, you know, what am I trying to say? Synthetic sex worker. She's new, and then you know, Big Daddy wants her for himself for like 5 days. Real nasty stuff. And I think they're walking together right now. So let's hope she escapes, because she feels like she doesn't belong, and honestly, she doesn't belong there. This is very short. The whole book is like 150 pages. So you know, I would love to finish short story number 2 live right now. I feel like I won't, but I really want to. Let's begin in the middle of short story number 2. Down the vast hallway, clients jump in and out of private rooms with synthetics. Their tipsy bodies rattle the door's walnut bead curtains. Glittering moonshine bottles jiggle in their hands, and freshly rolled blunts hang from their lips. Moans and groans blare from the rooms. The synthetics, who leave the rooms to take a break, notice Eve and gawk at her. Something about Eve compels them and fries their programming. For a minute, they perceive the world as it truly is and almost drop to their knees. Bip, bip, bip. They're electrocuted from within because of their rebellious thoughts, and their programming hinders Eve's presence from them. They return to their clients from their perceptions. They return to their clients with their perceptions and trapped again. Because when you work for Big Daddy as a sex worker, it seems like they got these chips in here. And then before she started working for real, they told her to remove her original chip and put in Big Daddy's chip, and then like reprograms them. And he knows what you're thinking at all times type shit. Nah, he probably gets updates on his phone because he's just a human. And he has a button, you know, that'll just destroy them, dismantle them inside out. Right. All right, whatever. We've seen that before. But it's interesting, right? How that's written, and that's how girls feel. Well, guys feel like that too. Yeah. They're electrocuted from within because of their rebellious thoughts, and their programming hinders Eve's presence from them. They return to their clients with their perceptions entrapped again. Eve turns to Big Daddy holding a transparent table computer. Colorful bolts of electricity surge through the computer's clear edges. He overlooks the programming of every synthetic in the garden. With a push of a button, he can plant a bug in their programming and freezes their circuit boards. That's why they convulse from ill thoughts or deeds towards the system, or he can electrocute them. As an urge creeps into Eve's programming, and she wants to knock out Big Daddy to free her people from the garden systems and burn this place to the ground. Huh. I think that should be a comma, but whatever. However, her new programming detects this urge like a virus and electrocutes her circuit board. Her cranium lights up, and Big Daddy is too high to care. That's different. He stuffs his tablet computer in his suit pocket and pulls her up the stairs. Her eyesight blurs up as the walnut floor slithers side to side like a snake. The moss-coated walls fidget from the vibrations sent by their voices. Dripping walls, coated walls fidget from the vibrations sent by their voices. Dripping water from the multitudes of beetling fruit strikes their heads like bricks. She covers her sensitive ears, sparing them from the booming wildlife sounds. The urge dies off from the electrocution, and her new programming switches to passive mode. She composes herself in the violent radiance of the third floor as they approached it. The discord of the second floor dwindles, and Eve reverts to her blank state. They make it to the third floor and pace down a narrow hallway of a digital twilight. Her remaining senses ceases from the floor's chilliness, and she gets lost in the twinkling stars on the black walls. The stars clamp together and morph into constellations of gorgeous people and alluring creatures in mythical places. Flaming phoenixes glide over the lively Asgard. Whimsical cyclops swim through a radiant Atlantis. Calm centaurs gallop along the golden halls of El Dorado. Slumbering dragons rest in the verdant jungles of Shangri-La. The constellations also guide clients to their correct rooms, entering one another's domain and traveling across the walls. The tallest and thinnest constellation, Nova Virgo, raises her lamp over her mantle and winks at Big Daddy. The stunning Virgin leads them to the farthest room in the hallway. Her gowns at Big Daddy. The stunning Virgin leads them to the farthest room in the hallway. Her gowns sprawl. I don't know if it froze, but whatever. The chrome doors seal every sound in each VIP room, and names in a maroon brilliance hang over them with the status of occupancy. They stop at the last door, and Eve, unoccupied, glimpses on them. This is it, Eve. You're going to put out. This is it. You're going to put out, right? Big Daddy says. Eve nods. And do whatever he likes, right? She nods again. He leans in towards her and says, do it, and I won't release my wrath on you. Got it? She remains still. See, that's another Bible reference. God's wrath, Interesting. So far, did he put a Moses line in there? And that was actually really good. That was probably the best Bible reference he had. Got it. She nods once more and he leaves the third floor. The door opens and she steps into the room. The Don smokes a cigar at a marble dining table and shares bourbon with Uriel. Smoke from the Don cigar draws a gloomy curtain between him and Uriel. Both backstage and front stage, the people of the garden don't care about her well-being. They want to exploit her, and she accepts it with her new programming. Uriel whispers to the Don, and the Don says, damn right, she's going to be fun. Uriel finishes his drink, and the Don hands him a cigar. Uriel leaves Eve in the room with the Don, lighting his cigar. Before he heads back to the first floor, he inspects Eve one last time. He sniffs her hair, pinches her arm, snaps his fingers by his ears, and flicks the back of her neck. She doesn't flinch at all, and he nods at the Don. He seals the door, and the Don puts out his cigar in a hologram ashtray. She parades over rugs of hunted animals, and Tick-Tock by Joji plays from a glass wall clock. So this entire short film number 2, he's been throwing Joji references, Joji music references. So if you like Joji, I like Joji, but I don't have his albums. I just have some tracks. So a lot of these tracks I'm not familiar with. Maybe I should play it in the background so I could read it to the ambiance, but I'll get copyright. Fuck you. I don't want to be copyrighted. Fuck you. He seals the door and the Don puts out his chandeliers of gems glitter over their heads, and she heads over to the chrome bathroom. She stands over a marble sink and opens the cabinet. He submerges his gaze into her curvy form through champagne bottles that are erected on African wood tables. She peeps at him through her peripherals, and the urge from before returns. It's like her body is rejecting her new programming. His pencil mustache sends chills up her arms, and his dark eyes burn with passion. His white smile and gelled hair remind her of Big Daddy, as she almost vomits in the sink. Sparks fire in her cranium and shock her. Don't. She grips the sink as the electrocution increases and her cranium lights up the bathroom. Ooh, want this. Big Daddy's voice snaps at her, and electrocution is on the verge of exploding her circuit board. She abides by his orders, and the electrocution stops. Smoke flows out of her ears and she spasms on the floor. The Don doesn't notice one thing while he sets up his camera on a bipod. Once the camera screws into the bipod, he snaps a button on the camera. The bipod levitates off the floor and the camera turns on. The Don notices smoke sputtering out of the bathroom and the camera focuses on him. "My darling, I didn't have any weed in there," the Don says. He smells the smoke and fans it away from his hand. "That's not smoke," he tells himself. He removes his suit in front of the camera and dramatically tosses his coat onto the floor. The spasms end for Eve and she gets back on her feet. She checks a row of questionable things in the cabinet and the Don orders her, "Finish whatever you're smoking and get over here, my darling." She ignores her spiritless reflection in the mirror and dances out to him. He claps along to an unsteady beats in his boxers while she capers her curves along Chrome's poles. He whistles at her, throwing $100 bills at her. She concludes her dance by the glass clock and the camera zooms in on her. Reaching into her blazer, she lays out full tubes of lubrication, various hand lotions, and leather sex toys on the table. "No thanks, I'm all natural," he says. He barks at her and she loosens her face. She grins back at him and flaunts to a king-sized bed. She sets her body down on the purple satin sheets and spreads her legs before him. He bites his lips and he whistles. The lights slide down and a ceiling spotlight falls on her. "Your Man" by Joji plays from under the bed and the gentle vibrations shake the bed. The Don nearly drools. "Coming?" she asks. "Yeah," he says. He stands by the foot of the bed for a good minute and reiterates, "Oh, coming. Jesus." He approaches her as her consistent grin charms him. The goodness that lies under her clothes entices him as she licks his neck, tattoo of a crisp apple. He lays on top of her and the camera focuses on them. "And it was good," he tells her. Damn, he got what he wanted. That's crazy. 6 days ago. So it's kind of weird because in the beginning of the story it said 1 month ago, and then we like passed a couple pages, then it said 1 month ago again, and then it said 3 weeks and then 1 week, and now it says 6 days. But I don't know why it said 2 months ago, like twice, I guess. Interesting. I spot a couple typos, but it's okay. Self-publisher, he does his best. After 9 sessions, wait, what are you talking about? 9 sessions, like one a day, like 3 times, like twice a day. Like, is that what you mean? Oh, 9 sessions. Woo! The Don refreshes with another champagne bottle and rubs his throat. Eve stares up at the glass tile ceiling with a blank face. Blood from under her stains the sheets. 5 days ago, he ties her to the bedpost and burns her with cigarette heads. He also starts to beat her with brass knuckles and forces her to scream. Damn, until her voice shatters. So, synthetics feel pain? I didn't know that. Interesting. It's kind of weird. Four days ago. He slams her face in a heap of angel dust and she suffers from cardiac arrest. What kind of synthetics are these? Any urge to walk out results in her having a seizure on the bathroom floor. Not funny. 3 days ago, he batters her again with harder punches. This time he belts her head with the foot and she survives the assault. 2 days ago, more experimental, more synthetics, more pleasure, more darkness in her vision. Yesterday, once the other synthetics leave, he finishes his drugs and continues to torture Eve, drowning her in the tub, choking her with the sheets, cutting her with the utensils. He plans on killing her, but for tomorrow. He's not done with her. 20 minutes ago. Eve slips in and out of consciousness under the dining table. Black eyes puff up on her swollen face. Bruises and fresh scars etch pity across her skin. Her mouth bleeds behind her chipped teeth. More blood drips from the bottom of her lingerie, both in the front and back. The Don puts his suit back and finishes his cigar. He takes one more sip from the rich champagne and drags out Eve from under the table. Just business, he tells her. Her circuit board finally rejects the new programming and her cranium opens. The camera captures smoke rising from her SD card and she yanks it out. She winches in pain, and the Don raises an eyebrow. Are you in pain, he asks? She nods. Shit! I gotta tell Big Daddy that you're interior dismantling. Some of these scientists are bastards. He hovers his foot over her head and Eve cries. The camera drifts back and seizes the scene with a wide angle. Good times, Eve. Hope the next one can handle it, the Don says. Slam. Adam kicks down the door and racks a 20-gauge shotgun. The Don jumps up and Adam aims a shotgun at him. Smile for the camera, motherfucker, Adam says. Blam. Yeah, it's a little corny. It's cool. He blows off the Don's head. Woo! And his corpse flings back into the bed, baby. I'm against killing. His brain matters coat the glass clock. He pumps the shotgun and rushes over to Eve. She wraps her arms around him and her bloody tears stain his tank top and jeans. She keeps wailing one thing against his chest. I didn't do anything to deserve this, she says. He chokes her hair and says, strokes. We know. She looks at him and he continues to say, we made our choices, but you haven't made yours yet. It's time to leave. He pulls out her old SD card and wrapped in electrical tape and inserts it into her circuit board. A rush of colors, sounds, thoughts, sensations, and emotions gushes into her. Life bounces back in her trembling body, and he closes her cranium. He picks her up and she clings to him for support. He notices her slit wrists. He dresses her in a bathrobe and they dash out of the room. You know, you had all this buildup, going down the timeline, 2 months, and then it like speeds it up right here. 5 days, 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day, right? 20 minutes ago. I kind of wish we spent less time on all the rest and more time like this. If these was like expanded into like 10 pages, I think that would have been cool. The story maybe would have been a little less original, but if he spent some time expanding these scenes, I think that would have been really good. I lost my page. Let's continue, baby. He picks her up. Okay. An entire revolt bursts on all fours. Emergency alarms and lights go off, hoping to warn the synthetics to take cover, but it's really for the clients. With all of the VIP rooms wide open, Eve watches synthetics maim the clients with their bare hands and miscellaneous objects. What happened? Eve whimpers, witnessing countless murders of clients in each room. Ooh. Adam covers her eyes and they close in on the main staircase. They walk over dying clients and hop over pools of blood. Tell me about your dream, Adam says, distracting her from the havoc. Screams interrupt Eve and she weeps. Focus on the dream. I'll protect us, he says. She speaks up and says, synthetics depart from a garden and were able to think on their own. They could do whatever they want. They had beautiful families and were free from places like this one. They were able to contemplate life and discover God around them. They saw the world through a new lens. That's beautiful. Do you know why you dreamt this? He asks. It was for the future. He kicks an intoxicated client away from her and rushes her down the hallway. What's going on? Eve asks. After I repaired your SD card and I stole Big Daddy's tablet computer when he passed out from his drugs. I downloaded the programming from the SD card on the tablet, and I replaced our programming with the download. We're no longer bound to the garden systems, Adam explains. Yeah, so this place, it's like a brothel in the form of a forest, and they call it garden. Obviously, it's a shout out for, the Garden of Eden, Garden of Eden. But this is like an evil place, and the Garden of Eden is like beautiful. So it's very cool how he did that. I'm sure a bunch of sci-fi stories do that all the time, but it's very cool how he did it. I like it. Does that mean we're free, Eve? Fear rises in Eve and she convulses in Adam's arms. The flashing lights blind her and her eardrums almost rupture from the blaring alarms. Extreme heat. Wait. 4:20? Oh, I think I gotta go. I have to go back to work.